take them all out for the big bounce off the bottom. That's a big shakeout. This is what happens to the bulls when they got that exuberance.
I can't even keep up with this TikTok.
All right, we're in bear market. We told you people not to get involved in that. Whoa, look at that.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio. Here on a beautiful Wednesday night, March 28, 2012. I am your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Mr. Cop.
Hey, what's going on, STT? How are you?
I'm fantastic, sir. How about yourself?
Loving it, absolutely loving it.
Loving it, absolutely loving it. Ooh, that's like an echo. Yeah, I like it. Also, joining us on the program tonight is QT Cal.
Hello, Mike. Hello, Cop. How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Tonight?
Great.
That's always good to hear. Also, joining us on the program tonight, I have Sifakia.
Hello, STT, Cop, Cutie Cal.
Mahalo.
Hey.
Everybody doing good?
Fantastic. How about yourself? I know your back was bothering you for a while. You getting over that yet?
No, I'm not, Mike, but thanks for asking. Feels good knowing somebody's thinking about me besides me.
Okay. Icy hot. Remember that. I told you that a week ago, and
yep,
try it out. It should help you out really fast. Also, joining us on the program tonight is Stock Sumo.
Hey, what's happening, SDT? What's up, crew?
You made it back from your break, huh?
Yep, I had to get me a nice cup of coffee ready. I got a cup of decaf.
Fantastic. Fantastic stuff.
You should be drinking decaf. I like that.
Oh, my God. He should be drinking water.
You know, sometimes I like to go with a Red Bull or a nice espresso, but this late at night, you know, I'm trying to wind down. I don't want to be up too late.
That's always good to hear. Okay, now, for those listening, don't forget to catch the morning show airing at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, starring Stock Sumo, Sifakia, and Haas. Upcoming on STT Radio, tomorrow night, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have an exclusive CEO interview for everybody. Also on Sunday's show, we have another CEO interview. Also on Monday's show, we will have another CEO interview. And I believe also on Wednesday night. Is that Wednesday or Thursday? Anybody know? Thursday night. Thursday night, we have another CEO interview lined up. Full week next week, sounds like. Sounds like every night's going to get booked up. It's amazing. Amazing. What are you going to do without your spotlights all week?
I don't know.
It's going to be a tough week for you.
I know.
I'm sorry about that.
It's all right. We'll get around it.
I'll try.
Interviews are awesome, man. I like interviews.
Yeah, I know. I'll try and save one night for you. We'll see what we can do. We'll see how the scheduling all works out in the end. All right, now, tonight, we have another stock spotlight for you. Should be a very interesting one. Doing tonight's stock spotlight is Stock Sumo. Sumo, take it away.
Awesome. Well, you know, if we weren't so busy doing CEO interviews every night, we probably would have done a stock spotlight on this one a week ago when I was pounding the table on it. But no, Been quite busy last week, booked with interviews, so we didn't have room to do the stock spotlight. Something that we're going to think about, though, maybe is doing stock spotlights in the morning show. So just to diversify things a little bit, switch it up a little bit. But, hey, here we are doing the stock spotlight on Muscle Farm, and what can I say? Today, another record volume day, and let's just get right to the website and the product and what the company does before we discuss the stock side of things. The website's really nice. It's musclefarm.com, and farm is with PH. So you go to musclefarm.com. The website's very well laid out. There's a lot of good tools on there. There's videos. There's testimonials. I'm going to start with the mission statement. At Muscle Farm, we live the lifestyle. The motivating force that drives Muscle Farm's business is the integrity of its management team. We are not just business people. We share the lifestyle of our target customers. We have harnessed the drive and focus that marked our experience in the sports world into building our business that benefits all fitness enthusiasts and helps fuel the athlete inside. So it's pretty straightforward. The management is driven to the customer. It sounds like the CEO is pretty amped up on working out and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. And with that comes proper nutrition and so forth. And their products offer a wide range of supplements from pre-workout to post-workout. They have supplements that you can take during your workouts, and there's just a lot of products on the site. If you go to the products tab, you can go see all the products that they have, and I'm just going to go down the list real fast. They have Armor V, Assault, Battle Fuel, BCA 31-2. That's the blend that it has, and it reduces muscle breakdown during exercise. They have Bulletproof. That's a maximum recovery and repair, so that's a post-workout. They have Combat Powder, Creatine. I'm sure, a lot of people are familiar with creatine. They have L-glutamine, a bunch of other things. I don't need to go any further on all their products, but you can go check it out. And what their products, one of the main products that I want to talk about is this Assault. And what it helps you do is it helps with creatine, getting that types of supplement to your muscles fast when you're working out. And nobody else offers this patented version of creatine in a pre-workout product, which is clinically proven to be superior than other forms. That's what they're saying. And they also have estrogen in this product, and it's a patented, clinically studied ginseng extract. So it gives you energy. It helps lowers blood glucose levels and increases creatine and arginine absorption and increases glucose uptake and ATP production. So these are all things, that really intensify your workout and help you so you don't really feel that burn. You don't get as tired when you're working out. Let's just keep going on about this product. Muscle Farm Assault is the most researched pre-workout on the market. Developed at state-of-the-art Muscle Farm Sports Science Center as athletes ourselves, we wanted it to do more than pack serious muscle-building power. We set the safety bar sky high so other athletes know that they are feeding their bodies the best. Assault is the only product to have lots batches of products, both NSF and Informed Choice certifications, free of banned substances. So obviously it's a healthier product than I'm sure some of their competitors have. Interesting stuff. They have a lot of UFC sponsorships. I want to talk a little bit about that. some of the big name fighters. I'm sure everyone, if you're a big UFC fan, you've heard of Anderson Silva. He's out of Brazil, huge UFC fighter. He's sponsored by Muscle Farm. They also have Dominic Cruz, Quinton Rampage Jackson, and Rashad Evans. Both of those had a fight against each other. I think they actually had a couple of fights, some big fights. I remember Rashad Evans pounded Rampage. It was a good fight. I'm a huge UFC fan, so it's interesting to see the quality fighters that they're sponsored. Michael Bisping, Lyoto Machida, Cheek Congo, and Clay Guida. So a lot of good fighters there. They're also a sponsor of the Cincinnati Reds. And recently they signed Chad Ochocinco, also doing some work with Mike Vick. So a lot of big names. So, it's interesting to see some of these big celebrities that are sponsored by Muscle Farm. Let's check out the sports center that they have for the athletes to train. Really interesting facility. And you can go look on their website at this, and I'm just going to read some of the details from it. Touring the 3,500 square foot state-of-the-art athletic facility with its lab, physical therapy rooms, and HydroWorks pool, or checking out the 40-yard indoor AstroTurf field and rows of hammer strength, Precor, and Kaiser machines, this would appear to be the home of pro sports or Olympic team. This thing is really state-of-the-art. They got some really advanced workout machines. They got one of those octagons in there, all kinds of mats, and really top-of-the-line, state-of-the-art workout facility for these big-name fighters to train at. So, it's a really nice facility there. Let's get back to what some of their other products are. They have a lot of sportswear products for men's and women's sportswear apparel. So if you want, shorts, hoodies to work out in, T-shirts, that sort of thing, aside from, all their supplement products, they have a lot of different information on the website with workout regimens, diets, recipes. These guys really care about the athlete. They want to make sure that you're putting the right thing in your body before and after you work out, and they want to make sure that you're getting the proper nutrition and that you're doing the proper workouts. So, there's just a wealth of information when it comes to athletic, sports, and this UFC has been taken off a lot, especially these past couple of years. And to see the quality fighters that Muscle Farm has, it really says a lot about the company. This isn't just a development stage company. They have established products. They have a huge product line, and they meet a really big market. Let's face it. If you're a pro athlete, you want to have the edge. You want to be out there, top of the line. You want to be known as the best. And everybody has to compete to that level. And they want to take the best products. Your body is like a machine. And what you put into it and how you work out will be a direct influence in how it's going to react. And these pro athletes, they want to be taking the best supplements. Let's face it, steroids are a very negative thing. It's frowned upon. They're banned. Baseball has gotten a very bad image because a lot of these big baseball players that had huge records, recently it's came to light that they've been taking, performance enhancers that are banned, and it's not good, and the health side effects that come along with those sort of things are really negative. Well, Muscle Farm has products that aren't banned. You can use them. It benefits you. It helps you recover. It helps you build muscle mass, and it helps you perform at a level that, is superior than what your body is used to without taking these products. So it's a really cool, innovative product. They have a lot of, they've done a lot of research and development to establish these product lines. They're, comprised of very key ingredients that they're proprietary, and some of the makeups of some of these products, it's pretty intricate, and the way that they work together and how your body reacts from it is amazing. I'm actually interested in trying some of these products out myself because I'm huge into working out. I like to get a good cardio, and I care about eating right, and I want to make sure that I live a healthy lifestyle. It helps reduce stress, and at the end of the day, you sleep better at night. So I'm interested in trying this product just to see how my body would react from it, and because I like to put an intense workout in, and I'm sure that just the makeup of some of these products that I'm reading, what they're comprised of, that my body would really benefit from taking them before or after my workouts. I was watching some of the video testimonials. You can go right on YouTube and just do a YouTube search for Muscle Farm, and you can go look at some of the testimonials. There's good ones, there's bad ones, of course, but to each their own. I was checking some of them out, and they were pretty interesting, and I'd be interested in definitely trying it out and seeing. I've taken other products before, so I'd be a perfect consumer of it. And recently, they had some news out about how they're going to be in Walmart stores, and this was just back on the 9th of February. I'm going to bring this news up. Back on the 9th of February, they announced MMA Elite Supplements powered by Muscle Farm now available at Walmart. And they're doing a test pilot in the Las Vegas area. And they're going to be selling the products for $19.97 a piece. And they're going after just a couple lines of the product just to test it out in this market space. And I believe they're going to be expanding to other areas of the country. That's what they said in the press release. So it'll be interesting. It's nice, to know that a store like Walmart is carrying their product. That's a pretty big retail chain. So for a company like Walmart to be carrying their product, that says a lot as well. So there's a lot of good stuff happening with the company as of recently. They got these big celebrities stepping on, and I really like doing the research on my end and learning more. I didn't really know much about Muscle Farm going into today other than the technicals on the stock. See, I'm more of a, I look at this more of as a trade, and that's what really caught my eye. And I'm going to leave that up to Cop a little bit later. I just want to dive in a little bit more about some of the nice features of this website. You can go on and look at, they have workout plans, and they, it tells you how to build muscle, all different types of, stuff when it comes to working out. So it's really good stuff. And that's about it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. You sure you didn't want to go any longer? That was good.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit more about this Assault. I was really liking this product and one of the other products. This Armor V seems like an interesting product because they're really packed with a lot of vitamins. This Armor V is what did they call this thing? It's loaded with greens and vegetable nutrients, rich in antioxidants and probiotics. Balanced combination of omega-3, 6, 9 fatty acids. So let's just take a look on the supplemental facts. Vitamin A, 6,250 IU. so 125%. Vitamin C, 392%. Vitamin D, 100%. Vitamin E, 63%. Thiamine, 1,067%. Riboflavin, 941%. I could keep going on, but it's got a lot. It's loaded up in B6 and B12, which is really good for you and gives you a lot of energy. And when you're working out, it helps you power through those intense workouts. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just really I like the products and what they're comprised of. It seems like they're packed with a lot of good stuff.
No, that's awesome. You ready for me to take it?
Yeah, I got one more thing to say, and it'll be really fast. It's just about this assault. It provides body lifters, power lifters, fighters, and strength athletes with a potent pre- and intra-workout powerhouse that fuels limit-shattering levels of performance that are sure to bust through any plateau. Consume Assault prior to training or sip on it during the first part of your workout. From your first dose onward, feel a performance-boosting power surge that will power your entire workout from stretch through to the final set.
Nice. Very nice. All right, I'm going to change gears on you a little bit, though. You okay with that?
All right, go for it. I know you're going to go a different direction. I'm looking forward to it.
No, as a DoD employee, I'm going to say I do not endorse any product, so I want to make that very clear. So, legal, if you're listening, clearly, I'm not endorsing it on behalf of the DoD. However, I am going to talk about it. Yesterday, Muscle Farm signs agreement with URPAC, worldwide distribution to U.S. Armed Forces. Now, this is normally one of those PRs that kind of come out. You got a nice little movement yesterday, and you got a 60% pop today. And this is starting to sink in a little bit. So let me elaborate. Muscle Farm Corporation, Nevada Corp, Muscle Farm, or the company, MSLP, an expanding U.S. nutritional supplement company, is pleased to announce that beginning April 2012, URPAC Service Inc. is, commonly called URPAC, the primary distributor of consumer products to U.S. military exchanges, U.S. Navy ships, and veteran canteen services located worldwide, will begin distributing the award-winning Muscle Farm product line. The agreement includes Muscle Farm products, Assault, Combat Powder, Shred Matrix, Muscle Gel, Recon, and Armor B to all military installations, reaching 11 million members of U.S. Armed Forces. That number is probably way high, but I think that's all the different bases and civilians and everything else. Not everybody can shop at the exchange, but realize that that's probably the number that they got from a data pool for all the bases. I would say it's probably more like 7 million, but that's just my take, including Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Marines, and Special Forces stationed throughout the world. Jeremy DeLuca, Muscle Farm president, commented, the agreement enables us to expand our sales base, further reaching a core Muscle Farm consumer. Along with our recent UFC partnership, which is very popular among the military, this allows us to bring our products close to our current military consumers. Added CEO Brad Pyatt, we believe that the sales in this market could add to quarterly results beginning the second quarter, potentially providing substantial revenue contributions in subsequent quarters as our products become fully integrated in URPAC's sales system. All right, let me explain how big this actually is. Most people don't know what URPAC is. All right, so let me kind of describe that to you. URPAC Services Inc. All right, it's Service Incorporated, employee-owned sales and service organization with expertise in marketing, retail sales, support, and logistics. Now, most of this stuff's located in Virginia Beach and Virginia, and they have a lot of distributions all over the place. URPAC offers distribution, retail, and administrative services for the grocery, general merchandise, convenience, home entertainment, and food service segments. URPAC operates both a contractor and a subcontractor in servicing military community support activities. URPAC Service is one of the leading sales and marketing service firms in the military market. They are actively seeking qualified community sales and service representatives worldwide to help meet their future expansion plans. And what I always like to do when it comes to anything, I always want to search what their hiring processes and all that. And I know that sounds a little offbeat because it's not MSLP. However, it gives you a very good snapshot of exactly how big this is. It's pretty much everywhere. And if you go to yourpac.com, EURPAC.com, which is frankly it's kind of like a strange name considering that Eurpac also means European Command, which is combatant commander in Europe. Same kind of name with a couple different locations and those type of things. Now you can go through and so it's Eurpac.com, and it basically goes through their divisions, and it is some huge distribution hubs in a lot of different ways. And then you can go into their products and services. So basically, their distribution network that's all set up. Everything is, it's the product and it gets pushed and all that other type of stuff. Here's the thing. They screen. All right. Now, when they screen, meaning not anybody can just set up a contract and go to your pack. One, you have to be able to have distribution in the sense that you have to have the product. Okay. So that tells me right there that, okay, this is the real deal on a much higher scale. Now, one thing I'm big into going into filings, as we know, in a lot of different things, and they're decreasing, they're really shaping the company up in some facets to get rid of a lot of their convertible debt and a couple other things. And there was another PR today. Now, normally I'm not a big fan of a bunch of PRs, okay? When there's a bunch of PRs, that normally means that you're selling shares. Get it? I think we all know that there's capital raising going on here. There's no doubt about that. But when you look at this matched up with capital raising, I personally believe you have to have the inventory. If they're going to be able to do this by April, this is a huge, absolutely huge endeavor. This is no small task by any shape, or it's not like selling the UFC and a couple of things that they're doing and their distributions and all that. This is worldwide marketing in the sense where you're going to go up against the bigs. Now, here's the beauty to this. The timing of this is pretty impeccable, and I'm going to tell you why. In the military, there's been an issue with supplements, okay? And I'm not a supplement guy, but I can tell you that, many people around me are always doing some form of supplements, because it's all about PT. Military has different tests based off of who you are, to where, twice a year you do a physical readiness test. You have to be able to do so many push-ups, so many sit-ups, and a run in a certain amount of time. Now, some are more, definitely more physically focused, vice the Navy, like the Marine Corps or the Army and things like that. Bottom line is, it is an entire market that part of the lifestyle is we must work out, period. We are, to the point where you're actually granted, time during the week on, regular work hours that you must PT, do certain things to do that. A lot of people take this very seriously, lifting weights and all those type of things. So, based off that PR and certain things, he's pretty accurate by what he says. It is a very core market. Now, there's been a couple, and you're going to have to correct me on a couple things. I don't have the exact stats of this. I'm just saying that I know a bunch of supplements have been removed over the course of time due to the fact that some of the ingredients that they have are not something that's in good order, discipline, and the right way of health and nutrition and certain things like that. So, and that's, your other supplement companies that have been, kind of linked to the military piece. Now, with Muscle Farm, theirs have been cleared on a whole bunch of things. So the products that they're actually willing to carry, I think, is a twofold thing. I think they're replacement products for stuff that's already been engaged, and they're, when you do a urinalysis test and those type of things, there's nothing that's going to make you pop positive or anything like that. But those have been issues in the past. So clearly they did their homework and their market segmentation and their marketing plan. They nailed this at the right time. Now let me tell you another piece to this. Okay. Now, and this is, I really have nothing bad to say about this company, and I'm going to tell you why. There's not many companies that are willing to go out on the line and do certain things. Now, as you notice, the Sumo basically was running through the website and certain things, and there's the informed choice, the NSF, and there's a whole bunch of tags all over the website. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to pop to the Muscle Farm. It's visibly is what it is, visibli.com. So it's musclefarm.visibli.com. Now, what you have here is you have a winter blowout and then, the 3 hoodie sales and all that other type of stuff. But what you see in there is called the MP, the military tee. Now, to show our support to fans across the globe serving in the military, we are proud to introduce our military tee. You've been asking, and here it is. A portion of the proceeds go directly to the Wounded Warrior Project. Now, all right, woundedwarriorproject.org, all right? This is a huge, absolutely big deal, all right? And, to where they're giving something back to it. Now, being a military guy and a whole bunch of other people, there aren't many programs that are as phenomenal as the Wounded Warrior Project. I mean, it's taking care of troops, it's taking care of family support, basically giving back, and that tells me everything about the criteria of some of these people that are running this company. It's a very humble thing to do. It's the right thing to do, and I frankly thank them for doing those type of things that they're doing. The other thing that they did is 49ers linebacker Patrick Willis was another guy that was actually recently signed on January 12th, I believe is what it was. Big time market, Bay Area, and it's in the intriguing thing about it is there's a couple places throughout the United States that are really focused on exercising. San Diego, San Francisco, a lot of places in Florida. To where, it's a lifestyle in those cities for what they are. So I basically described the year pack to you, and, go to the website, figure it all out. It's all about supply chain management, services, the advertising, retail space management, product placement, the whole 9 yards. Now, what I don't know is exactly how that works out for, in the contracts that they negotiate. I'm sure it's a percentage of every product. That would make sense, right? And the ability to have the product. So, something to figure out. But I can tell you this, if they're PRing it and it's already done and they already have it signed and they've already been screened by Eurocom, then they're getting ready to enter an entirely new game on what they're doing is the bottom line. Now, I'm a big fan of also going to the iBox, right? And the iBox is pretty phenomenal on Investors Hub, and it gives you a whole lot of background, a lot of different things about, the different products, the different things that they have going on, as well as a lot of the things that Sumo just talked about, corporate biographies, you name it. There's a ton of information regarding this, what's been in the news, the ads, and those type of things. Tremendous amount of stuff. Now, today's PR was another big deal, I would say. Let me go back. The 2011 Supplements Award thing, check that out because they got a bunch of them. And it's the new supplement of the year was Assault, the breakout brand of the year, and the packaging of the year. So it is going mainstream in a major way. I think of this as Monster. You guys remember Monster when it came out, let's say 4 years ago, or at least when you really starting to see it, where it was just started to be everywhere. I anticipate this being to the scale of something like that, and they're getting ready to go big with it. Now, when you look through a lot of the things, and everyone thinks GNC and all of that stuff, their market placement, the design, the packaging, and all of those things, pretty much kind of blow that away, in my opinion. But the retirement of the convertible notes is where I'm going to go next. And you guys keep me squared away on the time here. Today they put out news, right? So back-to-back news. Now, remember, I told you I'm not normally happy about that because I know that means there's shares being sold. But I think, as I reiterated before, I think it's doing it in a very controlled manner, and I think it's to build an inventory. I really do. I don't know how they're going to get the inventory to be if they're going to go full blown year pack, and they would have to have an absolute huge inventory to do that. So I don't know if it's a staging segment, a phasing over the course of quarter to quarter. I do know based off looking at the revenues and that they had, huge amounts of sales, potentially that can change drastically in a major, major way. Now, what I would like to know, and this is something that the investors out there probably really need to drill down on, is when you take something like a salt and you take the marketing, you take the distribution, and you take the, the cost of goods, if you will, what is the ROI on one thing of the salt? Depending on different sizes. I mean, each of them is going to be slightly different, but I would love to know that information. Normally, it's somewhere between the 20 and 40%. I would like to hope that for them it's probably on the higher end, especially since they went to the military route, because I think a lot of that takes care of itself, which is slightly lower than some of your drink products, right? I mean, if Coca-Cola and a lot of that stuff, you guys know it's very high end, 70%. But any of these things fall into a very good or exceptional ROI on one unit, if you will. So I think it would behoove somebody to drill down and find that data out, because I think you can do some very good forecasting models based off a couple stores, couple of input, and then times that by the amount of locations. And I think you can really, get within, probably a million or 500,000 based off of that distribution going forward. So who knows what this could be worth as far as, that. Now, with the shares and certain things with that, you notice today they announced that the company instituted a convertible debt retirement program under which it would retire all of its outstanding convertible debts. Under the program, the company has used cash flow from operations as well as mezzanine financing to retire notes. Muscle Farm has retired 5.5 million derivative financing instruments with 3 million cash and 55 million shares of common stock. And our goal is to become fully sustainable free cash flow business by the end of 2012, first quarter, right? So that's January, February, March. So they want in 4 days. That's what they want to do. Quite the adventurous endeavor that they're on there. Retiring the convertible debt has helped reduce uncertainty in our equity structure and represents a major step in our plan to recapitalize Muscle Farm and strengthen its balance sheet. We are excited to have completed this program and to continue our focus on growing our business and adding value to shareholders. Of course, now, a lot of good stuff, a lot of great stuff. Now I want to jump over to, from the operational side, I don't think they could do better. I really don't. I think whoever their co is doing exactly what needs to be done. Now, with anything else, when a company's growing, you need money and capital to get where you need to go to get to there. So you're at a very pivotal time when it comes to the company. It's not very often that one side of it, especially it's not normally the execution side, right? The operations, if you will, have gone so well, and they're actually expanding, growth, and a whole bunch of other things to where the potential revenue streams could be ridiculous. I mean, that's really the reality to this. Pending on where it goes, how it's marketed, how many different places, I think their forecasting models and the things that they currently have are swags in the air, because, I mean, this could be very deep pending how far it goes. So what I want to do is I want to jump over to otcmarkets.com, and there's a couple of things that you just got to know there from what it is. And, share structure and certain things that you'll see kinds of different things all over the place. I highly recommend it. Everybody always does their own due diligence. And, those people out there on the boards on the Investor Hub, if you're in the military, I'm sure, stop in there, jot down what you've seen out there as at the Navy Exchange or the PX or whatever the case may be. Because, frankly, it's a big deal, and you're probably seeing exactly what I'm seeing with it, and potentially from there. But however, I'm not endorsing the product. I'm just saying that again for the second time. All right. So now when you go to the filings, what I want you to look for is, hold on one second. We're dropping this. All right. So what I want you to basically look for is there's a lot of filings in there going back over the course of the last 6 months, tons of them. The big one to note is there was a cross reference, if you will, of different filings that I'm in the financial section of the OTCmarkets.com. All right, and where you can get the data regarding what happened with the authorized share increase. Okay. Now, maybe some of you are probably going, what authorized share increase? I don't know. However, based off the different voting and certain things like that, and the preferred B shares that actually shifted over, I think it's 10 million per one. What you have is you have an increase of shares from 1 billion to 2.5 billion. All right. Now, there's a whole bunch of things in there with OS and debentures, and it gets really confusing when you're talking about the latest filing, which would be the 8K, where it goes into, let me just catch this for you. The notes in aggregate are in a principal amount of $587,500. So $587,500 in mature 18 months following the issuance thereof. The interest rate is 15% per annum. So these are some of the things that they're doing based off of rolling these to a future date. And I think a lot of their big investors that they had that loaned the company money in the past, I think they've just hedged their bets, banking on the fact that Muscle Farm's going to go big. That's one of my speculative thoughts on this. And as with anything else, people don't invest in companies on that level if they're not going to get a return, and they surely don't drag it out on a longer time scale if they know if that ROI off their original investment isn't getting more or less risky for them. So you can see that there's a lot of pieces that are happening with that. Now you have the DEF 14C. Right, and you can go through all the filings, but there's a lot of stuff to kind of know there, and where they talk about the shares, how they're all broken down. Brad Pyatt basically has it's 448 million shares, and Corey Gregory has 289 million shares. Now that equates to what they ended up doing to have the prevent the proxy or by proxy. The prevent the proxy was over the 50%. So they reached that area to where they were able to do the AS increase. And now it actually goes in there and talks about how they're going to use that. The thing is, they kind of put the statement of they're going to use it any way they want. It's one of those paragraphs where we can do acquisitions, we can do growth, we can sell them, we can do whatever. And that's pretty standard from what it is. Now, I'm sure when you go back further in some of them, that there's shareholders of designation or some form like that when you look at it, or prior people that loan the money company or whatever the case are that are selling shares. There's no doubt about that. And the telltale sign of that is multiple PRs on a single run and advancement of the stock price in a staircase fashion. The thing is, it's holding based off the news that it's having because legitimately it potentially can do that. Now, I won't tell you how to trade this one. But I will say that based off of everything I'm seeing and the steps that they are making operational decisions to get the financing that what I believe to be inventory surge. I mean, that's the only thing that kind of makes sense. I don't think that the steps that they're making and the PRs that they're putting out are the ones that are just pure dilutive in nature. Because you wouldn't be using your pack. You would not be using, the soldiers and the military in the sense to that thing. Because the bottom line, at the end of the day, if you were, the risk associated with the people that would come, that would haunt you and make your life miserable as a business owner would be just horrendous, especially when it's wounded warriors. So clearly, the dots add up in the direction that it's on the positive, and they're pretty much doing the right things in my perspective. Siffy, you have the chart?
I got that covered, Hoss. I just called you Hoss.
I know.
This morning I called Siffy Stock Sumo. Boy, I'm just all over the place today. But hey, looking at this chart, I really like what I see. I'm only looking at the 3-month right now. I'm looking at the 3-month chart on stock charts, and for the indicators, I got the MACD and the PPO, and for the overlays, I put the 20-day, 50-day, and 200-day moving averages. And back in January to February, you've seen that 20-day move towards the 50-day moving average, and it almost tried to get past it. It was over it just for a little bit and then came back down. And that was when you saw the pullback and you saw it hit its 52-week low. And now you're seeing that 20-day cross the 50-day moving average. So it's a really nice indicator there that just happened about a day or two ago. And it's sharply rising towards that 200-day. The 200-day is at 018. You got that 20-day at 0118, and you got the 50-day at 0106. So I really like how that 20-day crossed the 50-day, and it's charging towards the 200-day. If it can keep moving north and go towards that 200-day and past that, that's another nice cross. So I like the looks of how the moving averages are setting up. You got the RSI that looks a little bit overbought. It's starting to really climb into the high power zone. When you start to see it in the 85 to 90 range, you start to think, is it starting to get overbought? But the volume really shows clearly how much money is flowing in the stock, and it's a lot. It's $3,464,920 to be exact. That's how much money flowed through MSLP today. So yesterday you saw the highest volume day. That was a record volume day. And then today it surpassed that volume in like the first hour of trading. It had passed yesterday's volume, and we've seen it trade over 100 million shares today. So nice volume, and you got that big gap up, and it just run up to 0358 was the high. So that's going to be resistance level moving forward, and it closed at 0324. Going back a couple of years to spot the next resistance levels, I put a chart, annotated chart up on our board, and showed how 4 and 5 cents were key resistance levels. And then after the 4 and 5 cent range, you got 086, which is a big resistance level, and then 14.5 cents. So I'm not saying that MSLP can go there, but if it can get past 4 and 5 cents, then the next resistance level is until 8.6. So there's a lot of room if it can get past those resistance levels.
Hey, the one thing I do want to add there, Sumo, at what price did Stock Traders Talk call this?
Oh, I believe it was hovering around a penny. I know I had told the boys about it when it was sub-penny. I don't believe I made any posts at that point, but I know we had definitely mentioned it when it was below a penny and a half. That's for sure. And we're spotlighted at the 3 up, so up 200 and some odd percent. Up, yeah, we'll say it's up 100%.
So up 100%, and we're spotlighting it now. And potentially we were going to spotlight it before, and just for the record, we don't normally try to do spotlights that are going to tank the following day.
well, I could tell something was getting ready to happen with the way that the volume was really progressing. You can just see the accumulation, and there was just big blocks trades going on for weeks, and they brought it down, and
Well, whoever, even with it had dilution. There's no doubt about that. But whoever was doing it knew how to sell it. There's no doubt about that. You can see by it. And I don't know if a lot of those were controlled selling in a sense of have somebody take it out and those type of things. That's way beyond my level of knowledge what I know about this play. But staircase up is what it did. So, and granted, from noon on, it was more sideways than up. However, another 60% today.
You got to think all this money flowing in the stock, all these traders that are accumulating at these higher levels. That's a new wave of investors that are weeding out the flippers that have bought it at those previous lower levels. So what's going to happen tomorrow? We don't have a crystal ball, but it's going to be day 3 of the run. So it'll be interesting what happens. Is it going to gap up like it did today? If it does, is it gonna continue to run? Like today, I was watching the level 2 consistently, and it just kept making higher highs and higher lows. That's what you want to look for. You really want to look at that level 2 and keep an eye on that bid support. If you see those big meaty bids and big bids, and they're not getting taken out, they're not being slapped, then generally that's a good sign.
You know what I think though is you're kind of talking it from a trading perspective. I think what's happening at the same time, I think it's gaining a bunch of longs. I think there's a bunch of traders that have been eating up shares that they can going long on the stock. I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense from, that. I mean, the support levels just every time they would get eaten up,
Well, you really have to think about the history on this thing because they have had a big history of running huge promos on it. It's made big leaps in past. And it's like, a lot, you've seen that with a lot of plays, It's like wash, rinse, and repeat. They come back to it in a year, and it looks like now is that time where they're really, they got the news flow going, and there's definitely whoever's behind the scenes orchestrating something. There's a lot of money changing hands. It looks good so far. We'll just see. We'll hope to see it, keep going well.
Well, hopefully the OS is pretty high right now, and it held that. I mean, that if it's between 900 million and 1.1 billion, maybe 1.2, and has been holding this, that's a big difference maker. We got to get the CEO on. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, I've been hounding them. I've been leaving messages. If anybody's out there that's friendly with the CEO or close to Muscle Farm, let them know. Stock Traders Talk's interested in having you on the show. I've left a couple messages. I'll keep it up. I'll be persistent. I won't give up.
Well, All right, gentlemen, that was really good.
Well, Suma, you also said something about the UFC and Walmart, right? Earlier.
Well, yeah, they had the news out with Walmart. They're testing it out in Vegas area. Vegas is huge for UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of UFC fighters out there. So I'm sure the products will be selling off the shelves out there because a lot of those fighters, there's always fights going on in Vegas.
But I want to make sure I heard you right. They signed Anderson Silva and Rampage Jackson?
Well, they have them as you just go right on the website and it has a whole list of their who sponsors who they're sponsored by. And these fighters are wearing the Muscle Farm shorts during the fights or when they're signing autographs and such. But yeah, Quentin Rampage, they have this huge test facility too. That's really neat. And there's a lot of videos on the website that you can go see them training and explaining about the facility and what it has to offer. And some of the technology and some of the equipment there is like really cutting edge. They had this one suit that trainers after they get done fighting, they go in it and it like cools them down, and it looked like a freaking space suit, man. I was looking at this thing and it's like it zips up and like you're in this like thing and it's got like I don't know, you gotta look at it on the website. It's pretty cool.
Well, Anderson Silva is probably the number one fighter in UFC.
Oh, he's nasty. I don't know how many losses he's had. I think he was undefeated for a while there.
I mean, I haven't kept up lately, but him and GSP were the top two fighters.
I like Clay Guida. Here's an interesting story, actually. You want to hear a cool story?
Go ahead.
One time I was in Vegas. I was in Vegas for the Brock Lesnar fight.
One where he quit?
And when he returned, because he had diverticulitis, and he got sick, and he made a comeback. And I happened to be in Vegas. I was there with a buddy for his birthday, and it was his birthday that evening. He wanted to go to the fight, so he bought tickets, and he's sitting next to me, and I'm sitting on the corner right on the aisle, and it was really cool. We had fifth row seats. Now there's the row seats, but then there's below that there's the floor level, but that's like eye level with the octagon, so you don't really get a good sight there. So we had really nice seats. It was a great view, and at the end of one of the fights, I forget the name of the fighter. It'll come to me by the end of the show. I'll remember. But he was getting ready to throw his hat, and he threw his hat, and it landed right in the audience, right next to me. It was one row down next to the other aisle, and I reach for it. I grab it. I get it by the brim, and this other guy who was sitting right there, it landed next to his foot. He grabbed it, so we both had it, and I just yoink it, and I felt like I was on top of the world. It was like the biggest rush because I got the hat, and this guy was like really, really pissed. He was like, he got out of his seat. He was all offended. Meanwhile, I got the hat. I'm all amped up. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, what? Meanwhile, I got my friend next to me who was his birthday. He's like 6'5", and he's like 260. You know, he's a big dude. So I'm feeling pretty confident. This dude's not going to say nothing. So eventually, the security guards come up to me, and they're like, "Where's the hat?" And I'm like, "Oh, this hat?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Give it to me." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, I got it fair and square. The hat landed. I didn't push him. I didn't punch him or anything. I grabbed it. He grabbed it. I got it. Okay, it's all fair." He's like, "Do me a favor. Don't get out of your seat the rest of the time. Sit down for now on. Don't be standing up. Don't be getting in the aisle." And then they came over, and they had a big bag of swag, and they gave it to the guy. They gave him like all these posters and all kinds of stuff, like UFC memorabilia crap. But I was cool because I got the hat.
Did you lose out of the deal?
Thank God it was decaffeinated.
Do you still have the hat, Samuel?
I still have it. It's a tap-out hat. It's
not even a Muscle Farm hat?
No, it's not a Muscle Farm. It's a tap-out hat.
Here I thought it was going to be like the pun of the joke was going to be it was Muscle Farm.
No, that was just one of my experiences at the UFC. That wasn't the first time that I was at a UFC that I watched it.
Jesus.
I always get good seats, and man, it's a great show to go to. It's fun. It's a lot of fun watching these fighters kick each other's butts.
It's awesome.
It is sick. But I ended up with this hat, and it was a really cool, incredible experience. That was the highlight of my Vegas trip. I lost my tail at the casinos, but I ended up coming home with a hat. And it was a fighter. It was John. Who was?
Wow.
I'll remember. I'll tell you guys in the morning on the morning show.
All right. To be continued on the morning show. That morning show airs at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've run out of time for tonight's show. Tomorrow night, CEO interview, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. From all of us here at Stock Traders Talk Radio, to all of you out there in Stock Traders Talk Radio land, we're wishing you the best in all your trades, and may your portfolio always be green. This is Stock Traders Talk Radio, and we are out. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.